Hi, this video will showcase how you can create beer buckets in Heartland Restaurant, and not only that, but when you actually sell a beer bucket, it will affect your stock of the beers that are inside that bucket. So let's get started. Here in the sections, you can see that I already have domestic beer section, and it already has some beers right here, and this is a good starting point. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of these items, and let's say Budweiser, and I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to call it a beer bucket. I'm going to put X6, maybe because it's domestic beer, call it domestic beer bucket, and I don't know, let's put in a $15 price. Okay, so now we got an item, but that's not gonna do anything. If you ring that item in the POS, it's just gonna ring out that item. So what we need to do is create modifiers that contain those beers. So I'm gonna call it domestic beer. Okay, so this is going to be a modifier, so I'm going to say that minimum is 6 and maximum is 6. This way I force the amount to be 6, and I'm going to allow duplicate ingredients, because you can choose whatever beer you want in the bucket, but maybe you want one of all, so that's fine. And then we're going to start creating ingredients. So we're going to name the ingredients the same way we named those beers. So it's going to be Budweiser, it's going to be Bud Light, it's going to be Coors Light, it's going to be MGD, it's going to be Miller Lite. Okay, all right, so now we do have an option when we have this modifier, and we're going to assign it to domestic beer bucket. It doesn't come up. It doesn't matter. We'll do it later. All right, so now we created that modifier. And when we tie that modifier to the item, it's going to ring up those items, and it's not going to be a problem, but it won't affect the stock of these beers. So what we need to do is tie these make the beers themselves sub-item of this modifier. So when you sell a bucket, actually removes the stock. So that's the next thing we're gonna do. So we gotta find these beers, go into these modifiers and assign those beers as a sub-item for this modifier. So let's go. I'm gonna go to Budweiser and find Budweiser. There we go. And I'm just gonna go back because it's easier that way. I'm gonna go to this one and assign Bud Light. I'm gonna go back and assign Coors Light. And let's do MGD. And the last one is Miller Lite. Okay, now the last step is what we gotta do is go back to the items and find domestic beer bucket and assign that modifier to all right, there we go. All right, and we can publish that. So this way we have a domestic beer bucket that has a modifier, has ingredients which are Budweiser, Bud Light, Coors Light, MGD, and Miller Lite, which also have items tied as a sub-item to this modifier. So what that means, if you go back to domestic beer bucket, if you ring up this item and you select 6 Budweisers, those are going to pull 6 sub-items of the Budweiser, and that's going to reduce the stock of that item. And that's what I'm going to show you on the iPad itself.